Over the course of the past couple years, I have been able to stack a considerable amount of precious metals. I'm not married, I have a pretty average income, and I don't get any special deals on my gold and silver purchases. So how am I able to do this? Do I run up credit cards for my precious metal purchases? Is it luck? I'll get into the obvious reasons and a few tricks and tips that I use that could help you shift gears from the occasional stacker to stacking like a pro. Before we get into the tactics that I use to stack like a champ, I feel the need to give a slight disclaimer. On the internet, and especially here on YouTube, it is easy to get caught up in what others have and what others do in regards to their finances. Be mindful of your situation and understand that what works for some might not work for others. Not only that, but you might find an even better way to achieve a similar outcome through different means. The tips and tricks that I'll be talking about in this video work for me but might not align with what you are willing to do. It goes without saying, everything worthwhile will require thought, dedication, and hard work. If acquiring gold and silver is important to you, you can stack like a pro if you are willing to do what it takes. Stay focused, have patience, and stick to your budget. I have one awesome tip that has saved me years of trial and error. It has been jet fuel not only for my stack, but for my life in general. It may appear like I'm being over-enthusiastic, but let me tell you, this tip is as close to a real-life cheat code as it gets. I have mentioned it in passing maybe once or twice, but never directly spoken about it. So stick with me until the end because this is something that literally anyone can use to their advantage. With complete sincerity, the last thing that I will discuss has been a total game changer in my life. The first tip I have is the easiest one. It may not be glamorous, but I have been able to get creative and make things happen when it comes to being able to afford more metals. This is something that everyone watching can do in some way, shape, or form. Like I said, it's not fancy, but it works. Get your monthly expenses down, like way down. Recently, I picked up this 1-ounce gold buffalo. Let me tell you, not only was saving for it financially hard, but it was emotionally tough too. I sacrificed for this beauty. When friends were meeting up, I stayed home or challenged myself to spend as little money as possible. Not only did I give up some old monthly subscriptions, but I even saved money by shopping for good deals on necessities. For months, I made a point not to eat out. No fast food, no gas station food, no beer, no candy or snacks. I cooked at home each night and made sure to be extremely cost aware while shopping for my food each week. Over the course of several months, I ended up losing between 10 and 15 pounds, which is a really good thing because I had gained a little weight this winter. I was even skipping haircuts just to save a few extra bucks. By going over my monthly expenses again and again, I was able to identify a bunch of ways to save money. Sure, individually these savings seem like next to nothing, but when you add up all the money that was saved by staying consistent month after month, it turns into quite a bit. All of this extra money gets put towards savings, cash savings, and precious metals savings. Anyone that has read The Millionaire Next Door will understand that the rich are usually the ones with smaller houses than they can actually afford. And they purchase cost-effective used cars instead of the latest model. These wealthy people know their priorities. Instead of weekly or daily fancy dinners, they focus on making smart moves financially. This next part might be a little bit harder to do, but it is absolutely possible. Remember the first part of this video, I mentioned that all good things require thought, dedication, and hard work. This is where the hard work comes into the picture. My next tip for achieving your dream stack is to get your income up. There are countless ways to increase your monthly income. Don't be so quick to dismiss the idea of making more money. Sometimes I'll catch myself being quite negative when I consider ideas about increasing my income. Once I consider my options, I always come to the conclusion that the sky is the limit. A great place to start is by thinking of ways to make more money at your current job. Maybe work more hours and clock in some overtime. Are there any opportunities to move up to a better paying position? How long has it been since you've asked for a raise? Of course, you know your work conditions better than anyone else. Handle these situations with care, and certainly don't do anything that might put your job at risk. One thing that I personally do to pump up my precious metals budget is when my work asks for volunteers to go out of town for work, or when my company is in need of people for overtime, I am always the first on the list. It's to the point that my boss knows I will never turn down an extra shift. And I am always willing to work late. Even if I don't want to work, I remind myself of all the reasons to say yes. The cool thing is, outside of your job, the opportunities are limitless. Mow some of your neighbors' lawns, shovel their snowy driveways, offer to clean their gutters or detail their cars, find a temporary gig on Craigslist, learn a new skill and practice it for quick cash. If you are drawing a blank and need some creative ideas to consider, spend a weekend looking up side hustles here on YouTube. There is something for everyone. Sure, the side hustles you land on might require a few new skills, but the question you have to ask yourself is, are you content with your stacking pace, or do you want to accelerate your stacking progress? There is no right answer to this question, but you will have to make that decision. My next strategy that I employ to achieve my dream stack is dollar cost averaging. This is a super popular strategy to use while acquiring precious metals. In case this is your first time hearing this term, dollar cost averaging is a commitment to buy at regular intervals regardless of price. If you have been watching my channel for any length of time, you have probably noticed that I pick up small amounts of silver almost every week. Again, it may not seem like much in the moment, but after a couple years, it sure does add up. I urge you to be honest with yourself while planning a monthly budget. Find where every dollar goes, but don't stop there. Refine it over and over until you know for fact the ins and outs of your income and expenses. Once you have your monthly budget dialed in and have decided that precious metals is where you want to save a portion of your money, find a budget for your precious metals that works for you. Just like in the book, The Slight Edge, almost everything in life requires momentum. Working extra hours at your job and learning a new skill might take time, and filling your schedule with odd jobs might seem like you're receiving small amounts of money. But over time, these small actions can gain momentum and grow to a sizable savings. Okay, as promised, I have a secret weapon that has truly made my life easier. This little trick of mine is nothing new, but so many people come up with the lamest excuses not to take advantage of this incredible life hack. I am an avid reader. By reflecting on the life experiences of others, I have saved tons of time. Instead of going through life having to learn from my own mistakes, I can pick up a book on a specific topic and quickly get a new perspective that I did not previously have. No matter if it's finance, biography, psychology, fiction, history, there is always golden nuggets of wisdom to discover. I have been a part of a book club for many years now, and I can say with certainty that my income has increased thanks in large part to the books that I have read. I will admit that I have slowed down on physical books and primarily listen to audiobooks. When I say I devour books, I mean it. Don't believe me? Check this out. That's right, I have over a month of listening time on Audibles. When I'm on the road, I am always listening to audiobooks. It makes long road trips fly by. Sometimes listening to the same tunes over and over at work gets boring. Switching to the current book always puts me in a good mood and keeps me sharp. Even during workouts, books can be a great source of inspiration. Check out the link in the pinned comment to start a free trial of Audibles. If you want a few suggestions on what to listen to first, check out The Creature of Jekyll Island by author G. Edward Griffin. In this detailed book, he exposes the corruption of our very own Federal Reserve. Truly an incredible look behind the curtain on what's happening with all of these bank collapses, and valuable insights on what is to come next with our currency. Also check out Silas Mariner by George Eliot. This book is a fun, well-written story about a gold and silver stacker that gets his stack stolen and ends up learning a valuable life lesson. I won't spoil the end, but a viewer recommended this book to me and it was so good I finished it in less than 2 days. And I just now finished up Your Next 5 Moves by Patrick Bet-David. This one is a total game changer if you work in a corporate setting. It was so good, as soon as I finished it, I bought a copy for my dad. I could go on and on with book recommendations, so if you have any questions, leave a comment or DM me on Instagram. In this video, I went over some of the basic ways that I tilt the odds in my favor to be able to afford more gold and silver for my stack. Get control of your expenses. Work on increasing your monthly income. Find a budget that works with your lifestyle and employ the dollar cost average strategy. And constantly be learning new ideas by reading books. When I consider what factors help me stack at the pace that I do, these are the things that come to my mind. The ideas that I am sharing with you are not for everyone, but with full transparency, this is what I do and how I afford my gold and silver. If this video interests you, make sure to check out this video where I go over the #1 factor that will lead you to success in your precious metal stacking journey. I promise you'll find value in it, so I'll see you there.